You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back!
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's ride!
Well, we don't like all of the strong arming that happened during COVID, so why the hell are we going to be happy about the strong arming that's happening right now? Strong arming that could happen right now if the president gives the order to go on into Minnesota and tell everybody who is trying to, as a group, and very proudly so, impede federal law enforcement operations and everything else. Why not arrest them? I mean, I'm not one who really lusts for the state to seize power for itself, but the Insurrection Act has been around for a while. And you can say, well, it's up to Minnesota. It's up to Minnesota there. Minnesotans should be up in arms and petitioning law enforcement and their own sheriffs and everything. Like, well, that's not happening. I don't know. And what kind of precedent is that going to set? What the hell happens when I mean, you can always say, of course, the left would say, well, look at January 6th. Look at January 6th. Well, there's a situation for you. How long do you want to spend unpacking that one? Let's not even do that, because first of all, not only was it very much so antagonized, it was also there's a whole new category of stand down orders that were given. Okay? So once again, there's the standing down. As far as going out there and actually and using the law, I mean, they went on the coast-to-coast manhunt looking for people who were just standing around in Washington, D.C. that day. So I don't really see this as the same. Look at everybody. Look, they're trying to trap us into wanting to give the state power. Oh, please. I don't know. I don't know. I personally would like to see it just all stop. I would like to see the fantasy just go away a little bit more, right? Trudging around in the mud thinking that they're big civil rights warriors out there. It's so stupid. And again, here we go. January 23rd, apparently there's going to be some kind of a big demonstration in Minnesota. I don't care about that, because all that's really important is what people like Nick Shirley are doing in lieu of any kind of public investigation or any other kind of media digging into a situation like the fraud that is being uncovered in the state of Minnesota alone, which is now just reaching untold levels. Last night I was watching the Nick Shirley Part 2 that just came out. I watched that while I was just hanging around in the living room doing some stuff at the end of the day. And it doesn't take that long to kind of sum it up, but it's one of those things where you'd like to just watch for yourself from time to time. and I appreciate Nick's work. It's crazy to watch just all of the, it's crazy to watch all the locals. All the locals come out in force. Whenever somebody walks into a place that is supposed to be another business, walk into a money-changing business that's supposed to be a transportation business, is still listed as a transportation business through their Secretary of State, their own State Department over there in Minnesota, and then all of a sudden it's almost like, you know, somebody hit a red button under the counter, and every male from a quarter mile comes rushing over and starts screaming about Islamophobia and get the hell out of here and don't ask us what we're doing, and it's really suspicious. Then again, suspicion doesn't mean anything. It's all on paper. It's fraud. It's crazy. It's crazy. Get into that in just a second. I do want to tell you, and I don't know, this was last night, but you guys might have been watching. Maybe you watched the morning after or something like that. But this morning, when I went on to Twitter, when I'm just sweeping across all of the platforms and going through comments and everything else, I see everybody piling on to Candace Owens, because last night, while we were talking about the premise for us on our show was free will and how precognition, because of course, you know, psychic abilities and our, untapped abilities of the mind is really one of Gigi Young's, strong points. It's in her wheelhouse. So I wanted to dig up the old idea of free will and what precognition and being able to maybe see a potential future event or something else, a remote view, whatever it was. That is a really interesting pairing there. But of course, over the course of just having some fun and bringing up old theories and myths that I love to just dig into because it's cozy and fun, we brought up Looking Glass. Okay? We brought up Looking Glass technology. Not Operation Looking Glass, Project Looking Glass. And the fabled Vatican chronovisor and all that stuff. Of course, things I don't have any evidence for. I've spoken to people who have like Andrew Bashago, that Aaron Moriarty called in last night and mentioned him. We interviewed him twice in like maybe 2021, 22, 23. I forget when it was, but we got to talk about that, and that's a lot. That's interesting because, of course, Andrew Bashago claims to have been part of Project Pegasus and those jump rooms, and knew a lot about the chronovisor and the people behind it and what was seen, and later iterations of that technology. Love talking about that stuff, and I love letting people just roll on that. If they have any kind of opinions or advanced knowledge on it, go for it. But while we were talking about that, and it just became, the trajectory of the conversation while we were starting on free will and precognition, Candace Owens was talking about Looking Glass. At the same time, I promise I did not know that was going on. I think we might be live around the same time, to be honest. So, and I don't watch her show. But Candace Owens, according to Holden Culotta, just revealed the truth. And this guy is a Gen Z independent populist, Maha UFO enthusiast. Maybe I can get him on the show one day. Holden Culotta. Candace Owens just revealed the truth about the CIA's top secret Project Looking Glass. Military and CIA whistleblowers allege that they stole ancient Sumerian technology from modern-day Iraq. This ancient tech let them see possible futures and alter the timeline of human history. They steal this piece of technology. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it. Hold on.
Obviously, the CIA's Project Looking Glass. Essentially, there were these whistleblowers, like I told you, in the military and within the CIA apparatus that came forward to reveal that the deep state had a technology, which they stole, of course. Please do not miss the part that I keep explaining to you. These people are not smarter than you. They're just more evil. They steal, they plunder, and they steal things, and then they rewrite history and pretend that they were geniuses. Anyways, they have a knack for murder. They have a knack for theft. And this time, just like a lot of times before, they stole a device from the ancient Sumerian civilization that's located in modern day Iraq. Very advanced civilization. They're obsessed also with Egyptian civilization, as we discussed yesterday. The Satanists kind of taking and reintroducing these things. First, they keep them to themselves. They hoard these things, and then they kind of give us certain aspects of technology as time goes on. So they steal this piece of technology and they incorporate it into a computer. And suddenly they're apparently able to predict future outcomes. Just imagine the deep state being able to look into a glass, so to speak. The Sumerian culture was known for their advancement in glass, and to see different outcomes. I mean, the amount of power that you would have, and then also fathom in your mind that the people that are Satanists have this power. Take a listen.
This is where things take a turn. Because according to Bill Wood, a former Navy
SEAL... Bill Wood. That's him. This is what I was talking about last night. I forgot his name. I couldn't place his name. Yeah. Thanks, Candace, for doing my work. You know what's funny is she's getting torn to shit. Not by the people who love her, but by the people who absolutely despise her. She's getting torn up. I can't believe this crazy shit. It's like, damn, well, thank God they weren't watching my show last night because I was, you know. But then again, the premise is something different. I don't know. We got there in a different way. I'll always be talking about this, but the way that we got there was a little bit different. I think this has something to do with, well, let's see. Hold on.
SEAL with high-level clearance, the US military once had access to a device called Project Looking Glass, a technology that could supposedly view potential future timelines.
The project was shut down because there was a problem when we approached 2012. The timelines converge on that point in time.
This was the video I was telling you about that I hadn't seen in a while. This is the video.
When you know how string theory works and how the possibility of possibilities works and how making one choice over here doesn't necessarily mean that the other choice couldn't exist at the same time. But once you get your brain wrapped around this subject, you find out that at the end of 2012, in an easy way to put it, the choices that we make become less and less consequential to the future. And eventually we're pushed into this bottleneck of time, no matter which choice we make.
Okay, so is that certainly 2012 in your understanding?
It's well coincides with December 21st, 2012.
So at that point, all possibilities lead to the same
timelines. All possible timelines lead to the same basic set of history in the future.
And after that, they shut it all down.
This brings us...
Okay. Well, anyway, what would come next in that video was that line that I told you about, is it the end of the world? Because that came out well before we hit the 2012 marker. And everybody, when it was a fashionable thing. Became a fashionable countdown for a while in the lead up to it. There was, I remember talking about that for a long time. December 21st, 2012. That's what in high school, when I was in high school, that's when me and a couple of my friends thought the 3 days of darkness were going to be, and we had a lot of fun kicking that one around. But then the History Channel, Discovery Channel, they're doing all this stuff about the Mayan calendar just a couple of years out. And it became a little bit more of a countdown kind of a thing, almost like a New Year's before New Year's. Or is it going to be like Y2K, but bigger? December 31st, 1999, we were all hanging out with each other, waiting for airplanes to drop on our houses. And that was that. But the real question is, what happened in 2012? Some people think that, it was almost like a rapture. Just don't know. Perhaps there was something that changed molecularly, but it wasn't very explosive. Anyway, what would come later in that interview with Bill Wood was the interviewer said, is it the end of the world? Like, is it something that, it's all is lost, and is it as destructive as some people fear it will be? And he said it's not the end of the world, it's the end of their world. The people who had control of the technology had been using it to manipulate the trajectory that mankind and Western civilization was on. But that's 14 years ago now, 2012. And I guess you can say that a lot of things have happened since 2012. A lot of things. I mean, that was the introduction. ISIS. That's when the JV team was unleashed. And that's when we started getting we're getting torn apart socially. Really, the social uptick in tension, especially along lines of race and gender, whatever. It all started really accelerating. Obviously, it had been at a simmer for a long time. Then it got brought to a broil. We had Trayvon Martin in 2012. 2014 was the Mike Brown thing and Ferguson, and that's when we just started getting regularly scheduled, city burnings and all that shit. Things just didn't go very nicely, but still they were better than what they were going to be. So I don't know. It's interesting to me how we could bring that up last night. This is going on, and she was saying some other things here. I don't know how she tied this into Charlie Kirk. But I saw another clip, and of course, there are just people out there who really hate her. I don't feel one way or another, so I don't know what context might be missing here and where it went afterwards. I understand that there was another clip of her talking about Charlie Kirk being somewhat of a time traveler, or that he was handled, and I don't know, and that maybe somebody was monitoring him from early on. I heard a clip where she said early on when he was younger. I didn't take that as childhood. Man, I saw some people who are just apparently Candace just haters. They're like, she's saying that he's monitored since he was a small child, like he was in an oracle or something like that, or the chosen one, and they knew what he was going to be. Well, I guess they could have known he was going to be if they had the looking glass technology. That's number one. But I didn't take that as. Actually, it's right here next to the other clip. Listen to this. Let me see, and then we'll get to the other thing.
Why did Charlie think he was a time traveler? He said, as I showed you in earlier messages, that he was a time traveler and he had to find me. Is that just something people are saying to their homies in text messages?
Yes. First of all, yes. I mean, I say much more weird shit. I have much more weird shit being sent to me, especially if you're talking to guys. Okay? We say shit like that. Homies be talking like that. The female mind sometimes can't wrap around the homie talk. Can't wrap that mind around the homie talk sometimes. So I right off the bat, I'll say yes. Anyway.
And again, not anything that I would have placed so much emphasis on back when he was saying it, but it came to fruition. The other parts, he did die young. Why did he think that him dying young was necessary in order to change things? He did die young. It is related to Turning Point USA. In some way or another, at the very least, we could all agree it's related to him speaking at a campus event for Turning Point USA organization. And I think we would all agree that his death and the manner that they did it is a big, unhappy coincidence. It's entirely plausible, I think, that they knew something about Charlie. And that's why they had him marked and had him monitored and had him likely followed since he was young. And maybe they thought, like the agents think, that if they swarmed him and they stayed with him and they pretended to be his friend, that ultimately they could control Charlie and perhaps change an outcome. They could literally change an outcome related to Charlie.
Okay, so maybe that is how she tied the whole looking glass thing together. It's the only listen, you can only take a leap into that territory if you're going to make the snake eyes argument a little bit more strongly again. So people say, well, how can snake eyes be so closely tied to all of these strange little details about Charlie Kirk's death. If it came out, if it was being filmed when he was 2 or 3 years old. So, well, looking glass technology might. But then, how are you scanning everybody? Scanning every child? It's like trying to find Jedi. Trying to scan every child to see what their midi-chlorian count is? I don't know. Anyway, everybody was talking about looking glass technology last night, and I just wanted to let you know there was no way that I could have known this until this morning. Don't watch her show. So call it a coincidence. Call it looking glass. Time travel. Weird. But that's what happened. Also, as I said last night, I'm going to open up the Inside Information Hotline. Okay? Here's the hotline. It's different from the normal call-in number. If you have inside information, and it could be complete bullshit, I don't know. You make up a name, you drop a nugget of something that you know that nobody else does, or something you saw, you don't want to leave your name on it, whatever the hell it is, 914-359-4853. If you have inside information, that is the hotline. That's it tonight. We'll get to that in a second, though. I just wanted to say, I promised it last night, and it's back. It's going to be here tonight. Now, as far as Nick Shirley goes, where the hell did we... So last night, just a couple of things here. He and his David, my David. If Nick says, me and my David, we went to a new part of Minneapolis today, and we uncovered that all the Burger Kings are a front for something else too. Isn't that right, my David?
It is, Nick.
Okay, well, Nick and his David Hawk. I think that's how you say his name. Is it Hotch? Is it Hoach? Hoke? They're going to all these addresses now to track down and to really investigate all of these locations that are supposed to be the managing offices of what are called non-emergency medical transport companies. These are companies that, as they say, and you should definitely go watch it. It's hosted on YouTube. It's hosted in on Twitter. Just go ahead and take a listen to them. These are companies that receive millions of dollars each. It seemed like at bare minimum, they were all like $1.9, $2 million, like bare minimum, the floor. Okay. And they make millions off of these claims that they're taking children to daycare, transportation, taking children to and from daycare, where every time a trip is made one way, it's like $100, and every company has 20 vehicles that are assigned to that company and bought. Many times they didn't even have any vehicles around. The companies weren't there. Everything was shuttered. Some addresses just led you to other businesses that denied that they were the first thing or the other. It's crazy. Some were apartment buildings. Some actually had some minivans and stuff in a parking lot, but it was clear that they had not been moved, at least in weeks, because none of the snow around it was disturbed. But David Hawk was saying that, prior to Nick coming out and actually getting all this together and preparing it for dissemination, he had been monitoring a couple of locations for months and no cars had moved. Meanwhile, they're all taking in millions of dollars. That's it. They're supposed to be taking children to and from daycares. They're supposed to be taking adults with sometimes severe levels of autism to adult daycare to and from. They're supposed to even be taking local elderly people to and from the grocery store so that they can be able to survive by buying themselves food. So much of it doesn't exist. Enough doesn't exist where the entire thing needs to just be shut down until we figure out what's going on, which of course it should have never been there in the first place. This is predictable. And of course, this is just the way of life out there. The children, the daycare programs, the transport vehicles, the addresses are logged with the Secretary of State's office. They're all going to random apartment buildings and convenience stores or money transfer centers. And then when Nick arrives at the at locations to ask where so-and-so transport is, swarms of seething, super aggressive Somalians show up, like it's Black Hawk Down. And I mean, here's just a little bit of it. Here you go, from the Nick Shirley YouTube channel.
It's all just looks like money wiring. But if you look at the Secretary of State's office, state of Minnesota, Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue, and it's been registered here since 2015. That was the original filing.
So let's see if we have the manager. Let's see if we can find Fod. Hello. How are you? We're looking for the transportation company.
Safari Transportation?
Looking for Safari Transportation?
No, there's no Safari Transportation here.
No Safari Transportation?
Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue.
We're just looking for Safari Transportation.
We don't know.
So, but this is registered for Safari Transportation, 607.
That's the address.
Okay, we don't know.
We're asking where Safari Transportation is.
We don't know.
Okay, so the business is not here.
Don't record.
Fuad Omar?
Fuad Omar?
We don't know. This, do you see this? What is this?
Money transferring.
That's it.
Okay,
Well, this
registered.
is from the state.
This is fraud taking place. This is supposed to say, this is for Safari Transportation.
Go find out.
Yeah, we did find out. This is fraud right here.
Registered here
This is
since
registered.
2015.
2015?
Safari Transportation, state of Minnesota.
2015. Oh, yeah.
Well, but it's registered now. This is current, just off the state of Minnesota website today.
Please.
This is from today. I just printed this off today. Fuad Omar.
Go check it out.
We're here. This is 607. Where's Safari Transportation?
Okay, it's no Safari, period.
Okay, so it's a fraudulent business.
Did you see Safari anything here?
Exactly.
Did you see?
Exactly. It's
Did
not
you
here.
see it?
It's a fraud.
Did you see, sir?
So now they go next door to the other convenience store and ask about, because I think there's another transport company supposed to be on like 617 or something like that. And then they ask about Safari and they say, oh yeah, it's supposed to be those guys. So they're like sending each other, saying not here, it's those guys. Ask them about it. Yeah, no, that's Safari. So they're denying it. They're sending Nick and David back and forth to each other. And just, I don't know, at that point, I guess they're putting out the bat signal and all the locals are showing up. Here's one guy who went like he's off his rocker.
The freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying that.
No.
We're not saying that.
When I go
Sir,
into
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud.
You could tell that they were trained by Democrats because, of course, the issue here is that there is fraud on paper. There is money that is getting lost and siphoned off and is not going to the locations for the intended purpose that it was issued. There's fraud going on here. It is dollars and cents. It is paper. It is very objective situation. And of course, all of the local men, they show up very, very emotional, very, very aggressive, talking about how you want to get Muslims killed. And this is Islamophobia. And we are not giving up our passports. And we have a constitutional right to practice our religion. I guess the religion has something to do with money laundering. I don't know. I admittedly, I am not a scholar when it comes to Islam. Maybe money laundering has something to do with that religion. I don't know. But that's what this guy is essentially saying. He say at one point over here, he says, Somalis aren't the only community that does fraud. I shit you not. I shit you not. He says that.
Rod,
when I go onto your comments,
my comments,
what I see is people that say we do not want Muslims here, kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
Well, I mean, I got to tell you, I have not seen or heard very many redeeming things about the state of the Somali diaspora that has formed in Minneapolis and around Minneapolis. I have not heard very many things. I haven't seen glowing things. It seems, in fact, if Nick, the only thing about these videos that Nick has done that reminds me that he's in Minnesota is the fact that it's obviously cold and there's snow on the ground. And in some scenes, there's actually snow falling. Because if it weren't for that, I'd think, wow, this is a really authentic Somalian experience. Like Nick really went all out there. He went to Somalia. He's on site. And I got to say, it's one thing to say when people start showing up outside these businesses and they hear from someone like Nick, like if this guy was like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?" And Nick's like, "There's fraud here." And here you have a Somalian man that goes, "Oh, this is awful." And you see that there's an uproar within the local Somali, community over there in Minnesota, that they want all these people out. They're making them look bad. We're not like this. We're hard workers and all that stuff. But that's not happening. I'm sure you can find somebody out there if you dig hard enough, but that's not happening. They're coalescing around criminality. They are circling the wagons, and they are deflecting in very Democrat ways. It's pretty incredible. So, it's one thing to have the massive nature of the fraud uncovered. It's another thing to see that there is an even bigger effort to avoid any kind of accountability, even in a targeted way, to make sure that the surrounding everyday Somalians that don't own a daycare or don't have any kind of interest in a transport company or something like that are not harmed by what are, bad apples in the community. That's not happening. And the more people see that, the more they're just like, how did they get here again? What were these refugee programs about again? Where did this all start again? You can't blame people. You really cannot. Take a listen more to this confrontation here.
That's a comment.
You're preparing for the Somali community to maybe be taken to concentration camps, just like the Japanese community. All right, you're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the question. Where is the transportation vehicle company?
Jeopardize
answer the question.
The safety and the protection of the Somali community.
We're talking about fraud.
If anything happens to the Somali community,
we're talking about fraud.
Listen, I'm not doing anything. I'm not physically touching.
You're getting very close.
I'm not physically touching. No, I'm not physically touching.
This is fraud. We're talking about fraud.
What you're
defending fraud.
If I can smell your breath, you're physically touching me. Okay? If I can smell your breath, you're physically touching me. Number one.
You're defending fraud.
Your comments,
you're defending fraud.
People who hate Muslims want us out of here.
People can say
for
what they
being
want.
Muslim,
I'm not censoring anybody.
Are using your material. Islamophobes use your material. People who hate Islam use your material.
Okay.
Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the constitution. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about fraud.
We're
asking about fraud.
You hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate Muslims. We're talking about fraud. We're talking about fraud.
Why are you attacking us?
This
are we
is
the
fraud.
only community that suffers because of fraud?
We're talking about fraud.
Are we the only community that does fraud?
Are we the only community that does fraud? No, not at all. But you're the ones we're looking at right now, and therefore you've got to go. What is constitutional about their presence, by the way? No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about a nice Somali family that decided to leave Africa behind and become American and in 1996 or something like that, put in their paperwork and waited and did their thing and they studied and all that other stuff. I'm talking about the big transfer, the picking up and the transplanting. I'd love to know a little bit more about. I'd love to go into that a little bit more. I want to talk about the Constitution. Good Lord. So, yeah, they're not the only ones that does fraud. Oh, okay. Well, then let's get out of here. Shall we, David? So it was a nice touch. Anyway, so in one leisurely day of driving around, they confirmed that tens of millions of dollars, just on a short list, they found tens of millions of dollars in one day. Lost to fictional businesses and so many hands in the pot. So many hands. But they just take what they need. Because maybe it's cash under the mattress or something like that. I'm certain that whoever trained them to do all this also told them to avoid putting this money into banks. And the rest of it is literally leaving the country in suitcases at Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul airport, which I was talking to Zach Payne and Adel at 4:00 today on Badlands. By the way, Badlands, what's going on? Badlands night over here on Quite Frankly. I love it. I love Thursday night. It's good, so good to have you all on with us. I was talking to Zach Payne about it at 4:00, and he said that ICE is actually in St. Paul Airport right now, which is freaking a lot of people out. And you know what? Good. I hope that they found, because what they were talking about here is these suitcases having no less than $1 million or so dollars, just leaving the country and going to Mogadishu or something like that. And then I think about us. I always just comes back to how we are just hauling ass, hoping that this year could be the year that we bring just a little bit more bacon home for the family. We are able to make a contribution to our retirement. That if we have a small business, we can actually hire somebody, not have part-time help cobbling together part-time help to be able to hit business goals, instead of being able to have full-time people on and actually be able to pay them and take that next step. Nope. Because we don't want to piss off this guy. He needs his money too. So I think about civil asset forfeiture. Like there was I remember this one story we were reading about years ago. This veteran who was driving across the southwest, like across those desert states, Arizona, New Mexico, into Texas. And he was a veteran and he got pulled over by some police, state police, local, who the hell knows, but they discovered he didn't commit any crimes, but he had an inordinate amount of cash in his car, and they took his cash from him. Because when you see an inordinate amount of cash in a car, what if it's like in excess of $10,000 or whatever the hell it is, it's in a small brick or something, the assumption has to be that it was being used for some kind of nefarious or illegal purpose. And it's taken. There's many cases of that. Civil asset forfeitures stories are some of the worst anti-American tales you'll ever hear in your life. You think about the things that have been taken away from American citizens who have done nothing wrong, veterans, all the same, and it takes sometimes years to get things back, if you ever do, in full. And I think about how these suitcases are just leaving the country with millions of dollars in cash in them. It's just nuts. So I hope some of those start getting I hope they start getting seized. That's number one. I hope we bring in some better scanning technology. And there you go. Oh, let's check in with the peanut gallery though. See how everybody else is taking things that are going on.
This whole entire administration is so fucked. I'll tell you, it's so fucked. It actually put my body into menopause. I am so thoroughly repulsed by fucking Donald Trump and all of his cronies, and they literally threw my body into menopause. It's like in Twilight when the vampires come around and more...
Yeah, I know. Listen, I think it's more like your body gave up on you. Oh, whoa. That's one hell of a pause, huh? I think it's more likely that her body just gave up on her. Said, you know what, fuck it, pack it in. Menopause. Pack it in. Fire sale. Who wants what? Let's just get all this out of here. Please, Donald Trump caused menopause. Good.
Wolves start turning. They are literally turning American women into women going through menopause.
Oh, so this is American Women, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to American Women. One woman's crazy declaration that Donald Trump has triggered menopause in her. Now she is, everybody is her. You know, nuts. She probably thinks it's going to be great. I've got a great, people love my rants. People just love my rants. I have a great idea for one. I'm cooking something up. People always tell me they love my rants. I'm going to start a TikTok. That's what they say. People always said I should be a comedian. You shouldn't. You're not funny. Oh, here's somebody else. Here's somebody else. Talking about the peanut gallery. A woman cuts her hair due to budget cuts in San Francisco. On cutting. Nothing to.
I hope that this is the only chop that our community has to witness. Thank you very much.
Wow. Let's get to the chop there. Chop. Okay. Nothing was lost here. Nothing was lost. She cut off a solitary lock. Okay, one lock in protest, and then you go to your hairdresser after this, and can have it easily coiffed into something new and stylish. If you're going to do something like this, you cut it down to the scalp. Okay, you go Britney Spears with this. To think of, I mean, I don't know, or think of some other embarrassing performance that you can just go all the way with. You can't go half-ass with this. What did she think she was going to? She just stormed off. Mom cut her hair at the town meeting today. Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't. She's killing me. It's like with the Minneapolis mayor forcing himself to use the F word with ICE. See, I can't even say it. I can't even say the F word right now because it's so cringe. You can't do it. I just wonder what it's all about, the hair protest thing. You never see any ladies cutting off their nose or an ear, like Vincent Van Gogh. You know, he cut off an ear. I don't know what he was protesting. I think he was just mentally ill, but so are they. I'm just so upset. I'm going to cut my hair and start from scratch. I'd be so embarrassed to go to school the next day if that was my mom. I wouldn't want people to know my mom was that mentally disabled. You know, the kids would think that she may have passed it down to me. And I would have had to work extra hard to prove that I wasn't a nut by blood. So there's that. There's a little something there for you. Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. It's 7:43. I'm going to have Mike Baldwin calling in around 8:20 or so. It's going to be a fun time. I haven't spoken to Mike in a while. Definitely not in 2026. It's only been 15 days of 2026. It's my father's birthday today. It's my father's birthday today. I texted him earlier on. Said, happy birthday. And he said, thanks. And that was that. But I think he and my mother they're all going out for dinner at the diner or something like that tonight. And let's take a call. 612, you're on the air. Who dis?
Hey, it's Kat, 1980.
Kat? Okay. So we have a Minnesota native over here. What do you got for us, Kat?
Okay, so when you were talking about how the Somali guys are tripping, you know why Islam here? You know, all that malarkey. This is the part that Nick and a lot of people are missing, is that in Islam, if they consider it a right, a religious tenet, to defraud those who are not Muslim.
It's called, isn't the lying that is divinely endorsed called taqiyya or something like that?
Well, I don't know that.
They can
but
lie.
I do know that be it slavery or enslaved by usury or defrauding or just straight up stealing and murdering, they are entitled to it based on the religion. So that guy, the crazy Muslim guy whose argument is like, you don't want Muslims here. Well, we're talking about fraud, but you don't want Muslims here. To the Muslim guy, it's the same thing because it's a tenet of his religion.
I see what you're saying.
So that's where the disconnect is coming in for a lot of people. And the other thing is, as a native of Minneapolis, that's how those people act all the time. That is their whole personality. So what you're seeing isn't maybe a few assholes amongst the crowd. And there's actually a representative here. His name's Walter Hudson, like Hudson River, Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
And he put out a video recently where he initially, when he got elected, he went to the Somali community and in good faith effort to try to bridge the gap or see like how they can partner to make Minnesota better. And after his efforts, he just discovered that the only thing they wanted to gain from him was clout. That the conversations were never about how to bridge the gap, but like, how can you get me in contact with Trump? How can you get me in with the AG Keith Ellison? And after a while of trying to do this and find somebody in the leadership amongst the Somalis that would be willing to have that conversation of how do we bridge the gap, he gave up because there's none. There's none. And the last thing I want to say is I'm married to a Liberian that's West Africa, and the Liberian, the Nigerian, and the Senegalese, Ghana, Sierra Leone community that's in Minnesota has been nothing but a blessing. And I know Nigeria is a mess right now and they're killing Christians and all this, but I think a lot of people who flee there are probably Christians. But that community, I'm not saying it because I'm married to them, legitimately, Frank, they have come and they started working and they started doing their own businesses, and they work a lot in our healthcare facilities that help elderly people because unfortunately our culture just kind of throws away elderly people. And a lot of them are Christians. And I think that's the bottom line, is it's not like Somalians have no value as human beings. Of course, God made them and loved them just like everybody else. But just like ghetto culture, just like the culture that says, I'm going to have 10 baby daddies so that I can get child support from all of them, get on EBT and live off the state and all these men, just that same as that culture. It's not a matter of the blood of the people. There's no blood guilt here. Their culture has gangrene. And then they come over here and they don't want to let that culture go. And like I was telling my liberal friend at work the other day, the problem with people coming over here and not being willing to become an American is that they put a target on their back. So I had to talk to her from her perspective, right? Because assimilation is a swear word in her vocabulary.
It's sad. It's crazy.
And I said, but the problem is that what ends up happening is they ostracize themselves. And so anything that goes wrong in the community is going to look for the weirdo, just like the witch trials. You're always looking for the people that don't fit in because obviously.
Yeah, but
right?
And Kat, I wonderful points, and I actually have some things to share on Ghana and especially people from Ghana. But when you talk about being ostracized, and you talk about all that about people sticking out like a sore thumb, and really encouraging people not to assimilate, that's part of the. That's not even their. I don't know. Again, they're pawns. The fact that there is balkanization over there in those neighborhoods, in those areas of Minneapolis, I mean that's part of the plan right there. Right there, that makes sure that there is always going to be fallback on accountability. Whenever you're going to shield somebody from something, because now it's just you're coming after somebody because they're different than you. Like no. An investment was made. A very obvious, and thank you for the call, Kat. A very obvious investment was made to make sure that these people do not become a part of a community, that wherever they go is going to become a no-go zone. And that to criticize that and to say that the importation of this oil and water situation is not good for our community here that was here before their arrival. I mean, that's just, and it gets thrown back on the native Minnesotans, 100%. Just the way it is. Now, as far as Ghana goes and healthcare, absolutely. I'll tell you, man, it's the scariest thing in the world when you have to start considering whether or not you need any kind of aid from a nurses union or something like that, visiting angels, whatever it is. If you know that a situation that you have with a loved one that you're caring for needs just a little bit more specialized attention and you can't handle it all, and you got to start just trusting other people that come in, that's when you start realizing that if you ever find yourself a good nurse, it is such a blessing. And the best one, obviously, the best one, no ifs, ands, or buts, was a wonderful woman named Gifty. And Gifty, she was from Ghana, and she took such good care of my grandmother, and we became really good friends. I haven't spoken to her in a while. But yeah, Christian, very doting. She was an incredibly hard worker, so funny. Just she became part of the family. It was just wonderful stuff. It is true. There is just people are made different, even just throughout the continent of Africa. There is just what it is. So yeah, it's never coming from that standpoint. It really isn't. It's just a matter of how things were before a massive government sponsor arrival of people from anywhere was like, and how it is now. Is it a net positive or a net negative? If you ask those fucking weasels like the mayor in Minneapolis, it was just a jellyfish. You know, he'll choke down his Somali baked beans and go, "Ooh, fantastic," and go home and literally throw his guts up and beg his wife or his handler, whoever the hell's there, "Don't tell anybody I threw it up. Don't tell anybody I threw up the host." Anyway, it's 7:52. Give me a call. Oh, also, happy birthday to the mama of Lindsay Thompson, Lisa. Happy birthday to you. I wanted to put that out there. Also, I saw that silver closed at $92 an ounce today. $92. Now, just a reminder, I know a lot of bullion sites are saying that they're out or delayed, but once I saw we broke 90, climbing up, any day now, 100. I asked Tony at Quite Frankly Gold, you got enough? Are you stocked? Like, what should I tell people? He said we are stocked. And we can lock in trades whenever. We've got junk silver. We've got the 0.999 bullion, whatever the hell you want. There's the gold backs. Just go in and get dimes and gold backs. Do whatever you can. Go to quitefrankly.gold. I would do that. Let's take another last minute call from Mark Kernke as he goes live at 8:00.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hey, real quick. Okay, remember. The feds in Minnesota are the same feds, who, by the way, are also all over the country, did everything they could for 4 years to follow every order the communists gave them to kick indoors, chase grandmas down, and put them in the gulags in D.C. These same feds worked as the Walmart door greeters on the border and reinforced it with more Walmart door greeters to bring all of the illegal aliens in, giving them a cash card, a social security number, and a welfare check. Now, on the other side of the supposed argument are the leftists who before were giving all of these feds the orders to do all of the above. We don't have a dog in that fight. Not my circus. Those aren't my monkeys.
Yeah, Mark, I understand it. People, they're weighing those things out. You know, you have one side that seems to be temporarily disenfranchised, who were, going all over the country and seizing people from their homes in the early morning and taking them to the gulag in D.C. and being thrust before these political witch hunting judges and all that shit. I understand it, but at the same time. What the hell? People in places like Minneapolis, I know that there are people who probably know what the feds are made up of and what operations they are sent on from administration to administration. But is there ever going to be a day that the slime can just be sent home from clogging up the streets and blocking traffic and causing disruption and just like having absolutely no consideration for any, like, that's what people really just care about at times like this. When the hell is that going to just stop? Every once in a while get a little tiny victory for peace and quiet. It's something.
Well, the problem is this: you want to stop all of this? Give me 25 agents, give me 5 trucks, go to the Soros crime family, arrest all of them, confiscate their money in the U.S. and Soros's big money in Israel, and all of this would stop. But Soros is not the only one that's behind it, okay, number one. Number two, real quick, let's not forget, what we're becoming is very myopic. What's happening in Seattle right now? What just happened in Portland, which they've tried to make you ignore so that we just watch and look at Minneapolis, St. Paul? What's happening in Denver right now? What's happening in Atlanta right now? What's happening in Florida? See, that whenever you see a myopic process that means that there's something else they don't want you to look at. Now, it doesn't mean that this isn't important, but this is also the same place where 2 years worth of burning down the country started the last time. And it's like they pulled out a cassette. You know, we would joke about, my VHS tapes are old. Well, of course they are. But either way, you blow off the front of them, and it's like you put a cassette back in the machine. Not a digital machine, not even a digital memory stick. No, a cassette. That's how old this scam is, over and over again. And here's the problem. What we have is a big police state. We paid for a big-ass police state that didn't do us a damn bit of good at all.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about that. And the big-ass police state is telling you that the only way that we can fix this if we have an even bigger big-ass police state. And it's always the same group that wants more power for them and fewer liberties for you and me. They're talking about restricting the First Amendment right now, aren't they?
Oh, there's always talk like that. Yeah, there's always talk about that. And that and that never comes.
Oh, I've been around for a while. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
No, I understand. I understand, and it's that's a bipartisan talk. There's no relief. Right. There's no relief for There's not much relief for free speech issues when you go running to the so-called conservative side of things with the GOP. It's all the same shit.
There's AIPAC Team A, AIPAC Team B. The key word here is AIPAC, which is the omni party that nobody wants to admit. Because no matter which, both of those groups, both of the fake left and right groups, are being paid for by the same single group. So we're that third group, I think. The other team over here that better organize, arm, equip, and train as militia, establish a 510 program in your area of operations, and prepare with logistics. Why? Because at some point, you see those two groups over there? They're going to do what they always do, come back together, and turn their vampire teeth and their blood-red eyes towards all of us.
Well.
And then they're going to want blood, your blood and mine. Okay. Anyway, please carry on. You're doing a great program tonight. I'm going to get out of here, as you know.
I know. You have a great program as well, and if you can, tell all the people from the shortwave radio listeners around the world that Frank from Quite Frankly says hi.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Take care. There goes Mark Kernke, everybody. There he goes. Yes. Well, the blood red eyes. See those. Yeah. Well, every once in a while, a little peace and quiet would do nice. It really would. Let's take another call. Who is this? Go ahead. You're on the air.
Oh, Doug from West Virginia. I don't want to be too melodramatic, but all these people like the Antifa, the BLM, these insurrectionists, these radical, you know what they're doing. Okay. So my idea would be to just round them up and send them to Seacot for a year and see if that cools them down.
Send them where? Seacot?
Seacot, CECOT. It's El Salvador, I do believe. It is because El Salvador, I hope I have that right, El Salvador, they had the gangs, the cartels were murdering everyone. And then this has been a few years, but the president, now I feel stupid to have the particulars, but made this ridiculous prison. And these people are seriously locked down. And honestly, so these individuals who are doing this in Minnesota and California and New York, they are self-proclaimed communist insurrectionists. They are against everything. And the one thing that, it's just astonishing.
So, so essentially, you want to see people arrested and just taken off the streets.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
okay. That's fine.
Because they don't, keep the peace. Isn't that you're supposed to be a peaceful citizen? And when you're in there, you're trying to kill law enforcement officers doing their job. And the thing with these people, they're like, so the ones they were arresting, they weren't just illegal alien invaders, which that in and of itself would warrant their arrest and deportation, but they were like murderers and child rapists. I mean, these. Okay.
Well, listen, yeah, Doug, you're saying a lot, and I think I think a lot of people would relate to what you're saying there too. First of all, the priorities there, you can't. There's very little chance for anybody to kind of digest complex matter out there. So even and the reason why we know that is because it's very hard for people to digest simple matter, which is illegal immigration in itself is a crime. But B, the priority right now is getting people who have already committed some kind of a violent crime or, has lived some sort of a felony driven life or whatever, so the fact that people are trying to get in between those types of characters and law enforcement is crazy in and of itself. There are plenty of people putting their face, their reputations, and everything else on the line right now by going on to places like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and stuff and calling for the wives of ICE officers to be made into widows. It's not every, you see it. You just kind of like shake your head. You're like, wow, like there are people out there right now more than you'd ever think would be possible just because of the risk it is to say, hey, this is me and this is how many people I want dead and go ahead, somebody go and do it. And here's all the righteous reasons why you should. There are people out there doing that right now. So that's nuts. The other thing is there too is no matter what the facility you were talking about, I don't know why it didn't register with me. The amount of people that need to be taken off the streets, there's no one prison that can hold them all. I mean, we're talking about many thousands of people have to go. Okay, and I'm just talking about mentally evaluated. There needs to be just a new standard of who is just out there living, who's out there voting. I mean, it's like that. It's like that. So many of the people who are out there operating in very enthusiastic ways on the streets right now, in a past era, would have been identified very early on and said, this person needs a straitjacket. This person needs a nice, steady diet of sedatives and, some finger painting time and a little bit of sunlight and some community time. Maybe they can be on the basketball team. I don't know, but it's just, let's be honest here. Gene? Is this Gene?
Yes.
Hello, Gene. Go ahead.
Yes, it is. Just real quick, CCOT is where Nick Shirley actually went.
Oh, in El Salvador or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get you. But like I said,
Okay.
wherever the hell
That's where he was coming from, dear.
Yeah. Well, then we're going to need five seat cots then. 5 of them. Completely.
That was a good one, though. He rocked that. Okay. I'll let you go.
That's all you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you,
Wanted
Gene.
to let you know, dear.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
CCOT. So then I think that was like El Salvador or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So we would need 5 brand new facilities that house at least 10 to 20,000 people each. And then we can start making a dent in our problems here. I mean, that right down to the, what's being taught, here. If you want the most peaceful American way of overcoming this, we need to start demanding what the left cannot provide. And that's it. And it has to be so universally demanded, like the colleges. That's why when I heard about, I heard about all of these foreign, what was it? It was the school visas, right? The student visas. Why would it be that we need to make sure that so many more foreigners can come to the United States to study? And one of the reasons why is because that if if that flow of foreign students was stopped in some way and those loans were not backed up by our government or in some way, that the revenue would shrivel up so much that some of these colleges would close down. Say, well, aren't the colleges part of the problem? You know, and if there aren't enough American students going to colleges, then let them close down. So those things just pop up for me along the way. And the other thing is what's being primarily taught in there. What is Yale and Harvard turned into? And how, especially since the Weather Underground kind of just like went into the teaching business and all that shit. It's like, obviously, with everything else, you can't make a way of thinking illegal. But at the same time, I wish there was a way to just snap our fingers and make the culture just not want anything that they have to give anymore. And they just kind of go away. But it's not the case. And there is like a preschool to college pipeline that needs to be disrupted. Big time. And I guess we're seeing disruption in things like the increase in homeschool and everything else. That's cool. But yeah, let's keep it up. Let's keep it up, I guess. In the meantime, I just can't stand watching people commit crimes on camera. And it's like you sitting in traffic at a red light and somebody behind you just boom, comes right around you, runs the red light, goes off and enjoys their night. And you're sitting there with your hands on the steering wheel going, man, could there not have been a cop here? These people are doing it on camera. It's like, you just want to see an entire army show up at once and just take everybody off the streets. Say, okay, well, your presence here is unlawful. Goodbye. But and I understand what that deployment has meant for us during other administrations, but it's slightly different as far as the premise goes. All right, what else do we have here? We had Nick Shirley versus Minnesota. I have a few other things. When we have Mike Baldwin show up, I want to do some MadLibs with you. Haven't done this in a very long time, and I'm actually really excited about it. But in the meantime, there are some stuff I want to do. Let's get to the super chats for a second. Stowsoup says, "Evening, Frank. Just dropping a little something in the super chat. Always enjoying a listen. Thanks again." Thank you to the dude from 1965. I think that's Dan Schumann. Says, "Love you, brother. Great show." Thank you, Dan. Eli P says, "Thank you, Frank, as always." Thank you. Jay Britt says, "It's been a great week on Quite Frankly. Isn't there a bonus broadcast this weekend? Asking for a friend." Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, we'll be live on the Playhouse. The Playhouse channel on YouTube. Get it up right here. Show you guys. There it is, the Playhouse. So we'll be live, me, Anthony, and the bassist of Set the Charge, Derek, will be on. And we'll just be shooting the shit about the last, 12 years of working together and knowing each other and all. And I'm gonna be taking out a lot of demos. I have a couple of bits I think you're really gonna like. That'll be fun tomorrow night. Nice way to just chill out, talk music and everything, personal lore, all that stuff. And then on Saturday night at 9 o'clock, I'll be live from here on quitefrankly.tv and pilled.net for the Saturday Night Lounge with my cousins Sherry and Dave. I think they might be the only ones here, but who knows? If I'm feeling good enough, maybe I'll pack a hookah. It'll be me, Sherry, and Dave. We go into some VHS stuff to start having some fun with that. Old infomercials, old music videos. We'll see. And of course, that will be rebroadcast the following Friday. I think that on February 7th, next Saturday, February 7th, that is 3 Saturdays from now. On February 7th, I was just asked by Chrissy Mayer to be on her show from her studio. And that'll be interesting. It's the first time I've ever been out of the house in a long time to do a live stream somewhere else. So I'm going to need all the Franklies to show up on that night. That'll be necessary. You guys have got to show up and enforce in that chat room. That would be incredible. So yeah, there's plenty going on this weekend. Tonight is just the last episode of this format here. We got tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We got Saturday at 9 o'clock p.m. for a nice little, adults only kind of thing. If you're on the East Coast, if you're on the West Coast, it's only 6 p.m. What the hell is that? I keep forgetting after all these years how actually early it is for you guys over there on the West Coast. Even right now, it's 10 after 5. So there you have it. Okay, over on Rumble, over on the Quite Frankly Rumble, then we're going to go to the Badlands. Grandma Grateful says, found Quite Frankly on my For You page again tonight. Really? Well, I hope that we get a little bit more of that happening to us in 2026. Let's see here. Over on Badlands, we got a nice crowd over here on Badlands, and it's good to see everybody there. Someone asked, A. Dunyan asked about the link for the silver. That's quitefrankly.gold. And use promo code Frankly because that gets you free silver, free bits of silver, whether it's a couple of dimes or something. I don't know, but Tony said that he's going to keep that up as long as there's supply enough to fulfill that. And no order is too little with Tony. Get in touch with Tony Arterburn. I'll be doing another show with him sometime soon. I love bringing him back on for updates, especially when, it's like to the moon right now with precious metals. Our day has come, everybody. Our day has come. All right. There's another thing I wanted to bring up with you as we start transitioning into something else. And that is this. There was a video that I had seen. This guy, Michael Araway, says, good news for folks in Southeast Asia who will start making big bucks online. The bad news for Western Instagram influencers and OnlyFans girls, you need to find a real job soon. Why is that? Well, listen, I don't know if this is a real video only because there is a lag. Here, take a look at this. I saw this. So there is this what looks to be a dirty blonde, kind of a young streamer chick kind of a girl thing. And then at the bottom right-hand corner, there is this Indian guy who is essentially doing all the things that she's doing. And it kind of seems like he is her. Like she is the AI projection of him. Now, this, I don't know if it's a real video. But the reason why it's popping up, because you see, she's doing things before he does it. It should be the other way around. But we know by what they have already put out, where people are able to address a camera. Actually, people are able to have their eyes cast over here to let's say there was a teleprompter over here in front of me. There's AI programs that have already pretty seamlessly been able to allow somebody to read a teleprompter straight on and still have the eyes adjusted for you to address the camera as if it was all off the top of the dome. So things like that were going on. And of course, projections. These projected images of celebrities or just composite people who are made up out of nowhere. I wanted to bring this up because regardless of whether or not this video in particular is real, it is also one of those things where it's going to happen and it's coming soon. That's really what's all going on here. Now, what they're saying is that this is going to be the end of influencer girls and OnlyFans girls who are going to have to leave the house and get a real job or take themselves out of the digital sphere and bring them into brick and mortar locations again, which is what? The strip clubs? That's really what it comes down to here. Is it all just strip clubs? So, I mean, I think that's really, I think that's something else because this Indian guy's feed, that's whatever. But it's disturbing to think about how many American men, because American men and boys are really driving this OnlyFans thing. You should see the numbers are crazy. Everybody, there's nobody's that's not a victim in this. Think about how very soon there's going to be an inordinate amount of American men who are going to be paying monthly subscription fees to watch Indian men masquerading as American streamer girls who like to show off and wiggle their toes for the camera is really crazy. It's going to happen. I don't know how often it's already happening. I don't know, but it's crazy, and it kind of reminds me. Hold on, let me see if Mike Baldwin is anywhere close. No, he's not here yet. He'll be on soon. Anyway, it reminds me of this. My brother, I think somebody dropped it into the chat. One of the guys' chat with me, my brother, Mike, Sal, a few other people. Somebody dropped this in. I don't know who did it the other day. It reminds me of this Christian. They said this Christian rap music someone shared in the group the other day. I think it's hilarious. Okay, it's called. The video says Christian rap is sounding a little different. It sounds. Here, take a listen to this. Hold on. What the hell? Give it to me, yo.
Christ is the only way. Pick up a Bible, pray to God, and put the porn away. It will set you free. Stop jerking off. Stop jerking off. Stop jerking off. Stop. What? Stop jerking off. Yeah. Stop jerking off. What? Stop jerking off. Please. Stop jerking off. Huh? What you doing, man? What you doing? Read the word of God. Put your hand on that Bible and stop jerking off.
That's a good. What are you gonna do? You say it's bad? Is it a bad message? It's not a bad message at all. Talking about the word of God. Stop jerking it. And that's. You see, Brian from Demon Erasers would have said, no, the vibe of the music is too aggressive. It's demonic. I said, yeah, but did you hear the lyrics? That got me pumped up. That got me pumped up right there. Let me take a call. Hold on a second. Hey, Mike Baldwin. Hold on, he's there. He's showing up in a second. I want to see what if he has his Valentine's Day tree up yet. Where the hell's your tree?
What? Oh, well, I have, where's it at? I have a little one like back there now. I got rid of the big one. It was too old and the lights burned out on it.
Did you hear the Christian rap song I just played?
No.
Okay.
I heard that something was playing, but then I paused it once I saw you on the screen.
Okay, well here, take a listen to this. I want to get your opinion on this. I think it's pretty groundbreaking.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Follow Jesus Christ is the only way. Pick up a Bible, pray to God, and put the porn away. It will set you free. Stop jerking off. Stop jerking off. Stop jerking off. Stop. What? Stop jerking off. Yeah. Stop jerking off. What? Stop jerking off. Please. Stop jerking off. Huh? What you doing, man? What you doing? Read the word of God. Put your hand on that Bible and stop jerking off.
What do you think about that? It's changing. It's refreshing.
I mean, it's not invalid advice.
I love it.
You know, like if I had to suggest two things that a man could do to make his life better, it would be go to church and quit jerking off. So what's this guy doing wrong? Nothing. He's nailing it.
Exactly. You can't be mad. I don't know what you say. What do you don't like the beat? Because the message is on point. I like it.
Yeah, I remember sharing a Tom McDonald link with some friends of mine, some like anti-Trump friends, and they were just like, "This is gay, dude." And I was like, if he was singing about anything else, you would think that it was awesome.
Yeah, well, you know, the reason why I wanted to play this is because I was looking into this video that was being shared. Here it is again, in case you missed it. It's this Indian guy who the whole point here is he's controlling her as an avatar. And what are the possibilities of this kind of a technology? Whether this is real or not, it's coming because there's already AI programs out there that help modify your face to allow you to make eye contact when you're reading a script or something like that. So the fact that you'd be able to create some kind of a composite woman or man and just put yourself on the internet is not very far off. But the whole point here is everything has a sexual side of it on the internet now. And in the very same comment sections here, they're talking about a lot of the British, like, think about this, around 4% of British women, this is by way of, where the hell is this? Oh, damn it. I forgot. I had the, this is from OnlyFans, but I had the actual link that was correlating to this, this screenshot. Well, anyway, 4% of British women aged 18 to 34 are on OnlyFans. That's 1 in 25 women. And then, of course, the consumption numbers are insane when it comes from the other side. Men and women who are on OnlyFans, the consumption numbers are absolutely astronomical. So, yeah, that's just one of those things, man, where you think about. But the whole point here is that the guy who's posting this video of the girl and the Indian guy was saying that we're going to get to a point soon where girls on OnlyFans are going to have to leave the house and actually just start going back to strip clubs, because it's going to be the only way that you're going to be sure you're not jerking it to a guy from India.
Well, for now, I mean, but once the robots get the human-like skin, then the robots will be strippers too.
I know.
With the Indian guy and the AI girl, what's the next step, I think, is another person doing their AI guy, and then the two AIs are fucking each other in whatever little virtual world they're in. And then the next step beyond that is I want to be able to feel what I'm doing in there. And then the next step, the Matrix.
Yeah, it's hilarious. How hilarious would that be if that women would have to bring their hoeing back to primarily back to the streets, because OnlyFans became a place where men were just tugging off to other men the whole time. Crazy how things just get thrown right back into. Well, I guess that wasn't the way it was before. I guess it was just the street. This is nuts, man. You're talking about Matrix and kind of like gamer kind of
like
dystopians.
Like Black Mirror. Did you watch the Black Mirror with the guys playing the fighting game and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
I stopped watching Black Mirror after that episode. I said I couldn't take my twisted guts anymore.
Man, every once in a while, like season 1 was like 5 out of 6 awesome episodes. And ever since then, each season has fewer and fewer like amazing, blow my mind sort of shit. But there's a few still. The White Christmas one is the one that I think about more than anything. Do you remember that one?
I don't know. I never saw that one.
It's the one. It's got John Hamm in it, and they put a little thing in your brain that scans your whole brain, and then they take it out and they put it in a computer, and then you wake up in a computer, and they're like, yeah, you're not real. And you're like, bullshit, I'm real, I'm me. And they're like, nope, you're just a computer thing now. And meanwhile, the real you is living your normal life and doing all your normal shit. But now you have a slave copy of yourself to do all of the bullshit that you don't want to do. And, I mean, it's exciting and scary at the same time.
No, it is. It is. You know, and that's kind of like the Prestige there too. You ever see the Prestige?
Of course.
Oh, look at that mug.
I know. I did that on purpose.
Is that the
I
mug?
got that from the Jamboree.
That's right. I remember I gave you a mug at the Jamboree. I tried to get mugs into as many people's hands as possible. We gave away so much stuff. You see that's what I always thought that immortality would be like from a giant tech company that is trying to sell it as, you know, a real opportunity, that it would be some kind of a nightmare scenario like that nothing that good. Because when you think of immortality or eternity, of course, very few people I know are very comfortable with the dying process, the idea of the dying process. But of course, the idea of the reward after death of eternity in heaven sounds fantastic. And I'd much rather have that than some kind of a digital simulation. But of course, if you believe that there is nothing after that, and that this, you have to squeeze everything you can out of this life and more, that to try to make it last at every breath. I just have to stick around. I got to hang around. And I'm sure that there's plenty of people who would want to know what life inside of that Ghostbusters trap is going to be like. But I feel like it's going to be a Ghostbusters trap.
Yeah, I remember I was in a creative writing class in junior high school, and I wrote a little short story about a dude who got eternal life, and then they threw him into like the bottom of a well or something, and it was like a super deep thing that he just could never get out of, and he just lived eternal life, so he's alive the whole time, but now he's just stuck at the bottom of this thing and no way out. And yeah, I don't think I did very good as far as the grade went, but it's relatable.
It stuck with you. It stuck with you.
It did. Oh, all of that stuff. That's why Black Mirror, I think, was so successful, because I think a lot of people think about that sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I want to bring something up to you. I was doing, we were collecting quite a few New Year's predictions for 2026 that we will go into this December, about 11 months from now, and we will take a look at what the hell people said was going to happen in 2026, or what doors were going to open at least. And there was one thing when I read this article about, you know, once again, OnlyFans and all this other stuff, the digital world just kind of getting turned upside down on its head, because more and more people are just going to not be able to really connect with what's going on over there. And it brought me back to this one comment from a audience member, Molly Arty, who's actually at the Jamboree. And she said this. She said, here's my predictions for 2026. Maybe they'll land better than my last year's predictions. To come to think about it, these are probably my wishful thinking and personal goals for the year. But number one is the digital detox. She said, after years of excessive scrolling and AI content, people will seek real-life connections, forming groups for in-person activities like board games and conversation. Subscription fatigue will lead to canceling various digital services with a renewed interest in physical spaces and direct interactions. Cringe is in. Throughout 2026, tryhards will replace influencers as trendsetters. Authenticity means embracing awkwardness, sharing unique interests, and acknowledging life's ups and downs. Wisdom flexing will become popular. Think books as status symbols, thoughtful posts, and challenging shallow opinions. I think that's already happening right now. I want more people to join the Quite Frankly book club, for example. I want to see more and more of that going on. But
what are you reading you're reading something that I've read before, I remember.
This month we're reading Ready Player One.
Ooh, that's right. Yes.
And then if you want, I don't know if you definitely got to watch. I mean, I think it's on Ready Player One. We're reading. We still have January 19th, and then we finish that up on January 26th, and then either on Friday the 30th or Friday, February 6th is when we're going to watch. We're going to have a watch party. You should watch it with us. It'll be like at 8:30 Eastern time or something. But film and book clubs, they're fantastic. And
I would love to. Count me in. I'll watch Ready Player One when you guys watch it.
I'll let you know, and we'll get you in on that. And then when I'm doing the after the kind of whenever I come on to talk about things that we were mentioning, Easter eggs, any IMDb kind of factoids about the movie, what people's thought, character arcs, all that. I usually go on after the end credits for like 20 minutes and just summarize some thoughts. You should definitely, pop on with some of your own thoughts. That would be fun. But you know what? You're in this line of business already. Like, the cringe is in over there. I mean, the reason why so much of your act is so funny is because you embrace awkward, and you got great delivery, but there's also, how to lean into awkward as well, which is great. I don't know about you, but I see a lot more interest already with people who are looking for things like intellectual and religious debates. Those are very popular right now. I think that we are slowly going toward things that are less vapid, by the day. I don't know what's going to happen with those who are addicted to things like OnlyFans and can't break out of that loop, especially financially and spiritually and all that other stuff. But there's definitely a fork in the road, and everybody's taking it right now.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing that sucks about the business that I'm in, is that I can't quit the internet, because 90% of my business and bookings and that kind of stuff comes from people seeing something on social media somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. The internet's not going anywhere. But it's like the level of reliance that we have had on the internet for in lieu of social interactions. I think that I agree with Molly that is eventually, and it needs to be upended. So you would actually be a beneficiary of people learning about events on the internet and then taking that action offline and going to one of your shows, hopefully.
Yeah, well, is there a word for that yet? Because that's what I'm going to put in my advertisements for it. Like, come on, everybody, start the great internet leaving or whatever. Come back to real life and watch a comedy show.
Wisdom. Well, Molly called it wisdom flexing.
It will not be wise. Anything that you see me say is not going to be wisdom, but it will be entertaining.
Yes. And here, and the last thing she said was AI would become ordinary, like electricity. AI operates quietly in the background as people return to analog activities, writing by hand, local gatherings, and hobbies for mental health. Work-life balance shifts, making side hustles, and soft quitting common strategies. Hey, man, I'm all for it, and I hope that's actually where we all go. So
I've said this multiple times, but on the book club one month or whenever, you need to read 1 second after, which is about all the power going out. And that's one of those things that I think about, like, that's what would be best for most Americans, would be for all of the electricity to go out, even though like 95% of us would die if it stayed out. But for the first week or so, all of us would just be joining together with our community and, doing one-on-one in-person shit, which is what is good for a human being. If I'm ever feeling depressed or whatever, I know that it's never because I haven't drank enough water, I haven't eaten or anything like that. It's always because I'm like, man, it's been 36 hours since I've spoken to a human being in real life. Like, and just going to the grocery store and like checking out and being like, how are you? How's your day? Like, that's all it takes to be like, all right, now we're doing shit. What are we getting done?
It's like plugging into a socket in the wall. You know, there's something that even a very short, uplifting human interaction can do for you that can actually it can set a whole day right. It can set you into a whole new direction for a week sometimes.
Yeah, but instead I'm like, I'm almost done with season 2 of Fringe, that show that I watched already years ago. Let's start it over at the beginning. It is good though. I don't know if you ever watched Fringe.
No, I haven't, but I've had quite a few people tell me I have to. That's what's his name? Finch.
I don't remember. I don't know names.
Well, either way, I haven't seen it, but that's a few people's that I know their favorite series.
It's what's the Laura Palmer show?
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. I watched that because of you and whoever you were talking to on an episode one night. And you guys, it might have been Matt or I don't remember, but you guys were like, "Oh, it's so amazing." And I sat through all of Twin Peaks in 2024 or whatever, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it was good. It was definitely dated and a lot of unnecessary shit. And that, once looking back, it's like they spent a whole episode looking for the fucking whatever thing that ended up not even mattering to the overall point. That's how Fringe is. It's sort of like CSI, where it's like you can just jump into any episode and be like, all right, they're clearly FBI people and they're looking at weird shit. Got it.
Yeah, well, that's how it is. It was with me and a few other things I was watching. I totally checked out with Stranger Things over the course of the last 5 episodes or so. So I just I stopped even trying to follow along with the mini details and just knew, okay, I'm rooting for the kids to win. And they're not kids anymore. They're all like 30 years old each, and there's also no fear. None of them are going to get killed off. I would have killed off half of them if I was a writer on that show. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's just me. Before I move on to my last bit with you, when you have those stretches where you're the only one home and you got nobody there for a while, do you make it a point to say things out loud just so that you can hear a human voice from time to time? Or is it possible for you to, aside from like moments where you cough or, clear your throat, that you could actually go more than a day without hearing your voice?
Yeah, well, I don't talk out loud to myself, and I just thought of a reason, I guess, while you were talking. But I remember I had an old roommate who would talk out loud to himself all the time. And I would always walk in on him, being like, no, let's put it over here. Well, why would we put it over here when we're going to? And I was like, are you on the phone? Or like, what are you? And he's like, no, I'm just thinking out loud, And I was like, I think in my brain. And I think it's because my mom and dad were around, and I had 2 older sisters who would shit on me the moment I did anything slightly out of the ordinary. So I learned to not talk to myself, even if I thought that I would want to. But no, I definitely have conversations with myself in my brain pretty consistently. But so to answer your question, no, I don't. I never think about how long it's been since I've talked to somebody until I'm on my way to talk to somebody.
Do you ever?
And then I'm like,
do you ever like? Is there a point in the day where you will just make a sound just to break it, to break the streak? Like if you realize, wow, I haven't said any, I don't think I have heard my voice. I haven't said anything. There's nobody here, and I haven't said anything in maybe about 5 hours. Will you ever just like go, aha, or just like
I'll throw out like a Seinfeld hello or something like that every once in a while.
That's what I would do.
I also, I don't talk to myself, but I'd say things out loud here and there throughout the day. I'd have to really think about, I'd have to experience it and then make a note of it, of like, oh, here's a thing that I said out loud. But I made meatloaf today. I think I said the phrase meatloaf time at some point while I was in that process, and that was an out loud thing, because that made me think, like, if somebody was just recording my voice all day long, it's just, and then 5 hours later he said meatloaf time for some reason.
If Mike, if there was a ring cam, if you had a ring cam set up that we could just watch you shuffling through your kitchen or something like that, and at some point there's just, you just make that comment to yourself, meatloaf time. Oh, I would, that would be one of my more treasured videos that I would play on this show constantly.
Well, now the challenge is going to be to set up the cameras and try to recreate that moment.
No, I can't. No.
It's got to be organic.
Yeah, just like where it was just, it just slipped out. It was something that, I don't know. I think it's funny because you didn't say it very excitedly, but somewhere inside it was enough to make you want to proclaim it. And it's almost like there was an inner struggle with you wanting to be excited about it, but also just being like, oh, who cares?
Right.
Meatloaf.
It's just meatloaf. It is pretty good, though.
Exactly. There's what I'm talking about. It's just meatloaf, but it is pretty good, though, which would warrant a meatloaf time. Oh, well, that made me.
We have fun.
We do. Okay, so this is what I want to bring the whole audience in for. Probably haven't done this in about 15 years.
MadLibs,
or what we call crazy libs back in the day.
Oh.
And I actually found the old I found the old website for it. It's called rinkworks.com. Look at this old ass website.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an old one. We used to use this back in between 2007 to about 2015 or so.
Isn't it crazy how fast everything got awesome?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or got terrible, depending on who you're asking. Or
It got awesome really fast. And you know what? It still is pretty great. There's just there's a lot more unnecessary loopholes everybody's going to jump through. Like it was oh man. I wish that we had the public interest in new media that we have today with the absolutely uninhibited platforms that we had back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was the only thing that was holding us back. I'm like, well, you can build a following easy. Really, if you had even just a generally original idea or just a little bit of consistency and authenticity to commit with people, but so many more people that it's just, I don't know. I wish, but either way, here's what we got. We've got original stories. We've got classic stories, and then we've got excerpts. Each of these, like let's say we go to Love Letter, it's going to ask us for nouns, adjectives, adverbs, intransitive past tense verbs, all those things.
Wow.
And
so I'm going to get a sixth grade English lesson along with this.
well, I mean, listen, the thing is, I'm going to get this from the audience and you. You can throw things in there if you'd like, but audiences, everybody, this is what's going to happen.
Follow Jesus Christ is the only way. Pick up a Bible, pray to God.
Well, might as well listen to it.
It will set you free. Stop jerking off. Stop jerking off. Stop jerking off.
Okay, it's off. That's not going to happen again. I'm sorry, Mike. So everybody, I'm going to be watching the YouTube, the D Live, the Twitch, both Badlands, and of course Pilled. I want you guys. You can follow along. It could be nouns. When I ask for nouns, it could just be weird contributions that kind of would screw up the flow of any well-constructed sentence. I don't care. I'm just going to take stuff from the audience, and we're going to make ourselves a MadLibs.
Crazy lib.
A crazy lib. Now,
not to be confused with the people that are marching in the streets in Minneapolis right now.
Absolutely. Not those crazy libs. So, I clicked on Love Letter. You want to just do Love Letter?
Sure.
Okay, everybody. So here's how we're going to do it. Ready? I need one plural noun. So that means things like dish towels, slugs, waffles, drain pipes, cufflinks, anything. So one plural noun. Let's do that. And how about, Mike, you have anything you want to throw out there?
For a plural noun?
Yes.
I'm going to save the one that I thought of already. There's other nouns in this, are there not?
What, like what? Anal beads?
No, I mean, like, you're going to ask for a noun again later, right?
And next is two abstract nouns. Let's see what people are saying. We got chinchillas, dick lasers. Oh, man.
Dick lasers? Are those lasers that hit your dick, or
No.
lasers that come out of your dick?
No, it projects the form of a dick on the wall. I have to put dick lasers in there.
Oh, I wasn't even close with either of those.
Yeah, I
was
know.
like, so are they chopping dicks off with a laser?
I know. I'm so sorry. Dick lasers. Okay, next one. We need two abstract nouns, everybody. That means arrogance, wit, stamina, fear, bravery, things like that. Two abstract nouns. Give me two abstract nouns. Let's go throughout everything. Let's see here.
Industriousness.
Industriousness. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I took a Jordan Peterson test years ago, and that's what I was really low in. And I didn't even know what it meant. And then I looked it up, and it was like the desire to get things done. And I was like, God damn it, I am really low in that.
Okay, so I'm going to put industriousness down. Okay. Let's see here. Industrious. And I'm going to see industriousness. And let's see what else people are giving us. Okay, abstract nouns. Let's see. Truth, Befuddled? No, that's not a noun. Humility? Snickerdoodles?
That's not abstract.
Yeah, no, bamboozled is not a noun. Abstract as in you can't see it. You cannot see somebody's arrogance. They can act on it. Let's see here. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going. Voluptuousness. I guess you can see that, right? Voluptuousness. I don't even care. All right, guys. 5 adjectives. That's cold, wet. That's something to describe a noun. Cold, wet, slimy, slimy, stinky,
slippy, slappy,
slappy. Here we go.
Let's go meaty.
All right.
In honor of my meatloaf.
Meaty. Let's check out over here. Taking a look at all the chat rooms. Moist. Oh.
Yeah, I never minded that word, but I know a lot of people who don't like it.
How about a moist? All right, fine. That'll do. My wife hates that word badly. Slippery.
Why though?
I don't know. People just. I think moist sounds like. I don't know why some people hate that word moist. I like it when it's when you describe a cake.
Yeah.
That cake was very moist and fluffy.
Or just when it's hot and humid as hell. I like to be like, God, it feels so moist out here.
Oh, how about
people go, ugh.
Stank. I'm going to put stank in there.
Okay.
Let's see.
I think that's what people think when they hear moist is like wet underwear or something.
All right. Let's see here. Slippery. Duncan Hines. Brutal. Let's see here. Hard. Stiff as a rock. Stiff as a rock. Okay. One more adjective.
Happy.
How about Oh, somebody said fucking slippery. All right, that's there. There you go. Fucking slippery. All right, three adverbs. Okay, that's politely, greedily, cleverly. It describes a verb.
So most things with ly at the end.
Yes.
I'll let you read some.
Oh, here you go. Okay, someone said ass slappingly. There you go. This is what I'm talking about, everybody. Get weird. Take some liberties here with the
hornily.
Hornily. That's funny. Oh, I hornily walked through the bar looking for a mark. All right, let's see what else we have. Frankly, inadvertently, interestingly, hadly, hotly.
What is quite frankly? Is that
well, frankly means to do something bluntly. Gaily. Okay, we have to put that down there.
Of course.
How about extremely gaily? Extremely gaily. Thank you so much. Okay, we're getting there. I need past tense intransitive verb. That means flirted, juggled, waddled.
What does intransitive mean? Is now not the time to learn that?
Well, I mean, that's to have done, had waddled. The actual definition of intransitive.
It doesn't matter. All right.
No, because the present tense would be, like a
juggle.
I don't know. I think it's in motion. I think so. I don't know. Anyway, intransitive. I'm gonna have to go look at that. Juggle, you said?
No, you said juggled.
Staggered. Blue. Oh, okay. Derrickville said blue. Oh, well, that might yield an interesting Right. Okay. Now let's get a past tense transitive verb. That means like to hiss or lie or bathe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Present tense. Present tense. Sorry. Convulse. Convulse is actually kind of funny. It's not funny. It's happening to you. Let's see. Slapped, snored, lubed. Oh, I forgot. We don't have anything with lubrication in here yet.
You got to get ejaculated.
No, I don't want to go that. Let's see. Hold on. Wretch. That's from the Badland media. We're getting a lot of good Badland. Let's see here. Wretch. That's just splooge. Tripping. What else do we have? Wait a second. Control. Pause. Jerked, says Josh K. Garbled. Okay. I don't know. I think it would have to be garble, right? It would have to be garble.
For present tense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, give me an animal. A white liberal woman. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
White liberal lady. Geographical terrain. So give me like beach, a canyon, a gorge.
Tundra.
A tundra. I was going to say a deep gorge. What about a deep gorge?
You can choose whatever you would like.
Okay. All right. Well, how about a body part here? A toenail, a heel? What do you think?
Beard. Does that count as a body part?
It should. Beard. Okay, everybody in the chat room, I need 2 plural body parts. This is for the chat room. Plural body parts. 2 of them.
I know what I'm thinking of already. If we're going plural body parts.
Okay, come on. 2 plural body parts. We're almost there. We got less than a third to go. I can't wait to hear what this story comes out like. Here we go. They're starting to come in now. 2 hemispheres. They're coming. Lungs. Teeth. Balls. Bobs. Bobs. Yeah, since we've been doing Indian jokes tonight. Yeah, definitely. Show bobs, please. Meat curtains. Oh, no. Oh, no. I guess we ass cheeks. Nostrils. Eyes.
All good choices.
Yes, I know. Nostrils. Let's do nostrils and beef curtains.
Okay.
Nostrils and beef curtains. All right, I need a time period. That's like a second, a minute, whatever you think.
47 months.
47 months. Okay, give me an emotion. Happy, jealous, whatever.
Rageful.
Okay, rageful. That's fantastic. All right, I need color. I need 2 colors.
Are you asking me or are you waiting for the chat?
Yeah, you give me a color. How about puce?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, we're okay. Everybody, you give me a color. I'm definitely putting periwinkle down. Periwinkle.
You and your strange words. I'm sitting here racking my brain going blue, orange, and you're like, what about snowman white?
Yeah, I know. Periwinkle, I like periwinkle actually. Magenta, purple, somebody said. That's something else. Chartreuse. What is that? Is that like a grayish? What is that?
I want to say it's some kind of red, isn't it? But I could be wrong. I know that there was a bar near my house when I was younger called the Chartreuse Caboose, and it was shaped like a train, and it was kind of red.
For some reason, there's a lot of people saying chartreuse across several chat rooms. I got that one from the Badlands one, but I saw it elsewhere too. Okay, plural food. Hot dogs, corn dogs, kiwis. What are you thinking?
Cheese slices.
Cheese slices. Okay. Give me 2 forms of liquid. Two liquid. They're like milk, grapefruit.
Urine and
how about this? Dastardly urine.
Okay.
Okay.
And cold dishwater.
Ugh. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. While everybody in the chat room, give me an article of clothing, plural article of clothing. We have 5 left. Liquid. You said dishwater. How about
pick anything else? I don't give a crap.
Nancy Pelosi's bathwater. Okay. Article of clothing. Give me something. A shoe, a pair of pants, an IUD.
How about a Quite Frankly T-shirt?
Okay. Quite Frankly T-shirt. All right. An article of clothing, plural. Let's see what the chat rooms have come up with. Socks, brassiere. Socks, a lot of socks. Tube top. Pants. Sewer one. Oh, we're seeing trusses. Let me see it here. Sardines on the Quite Frankly. No, girdle. Sock. A lot of socks. Thongs. You know what? There's a lot. I'm just going to put socks. There's so many people putting socks. I'm not going to disappoint them.
And now all of those people are like, he picked the thing that I picked.
Yes, you're right.
And they're all excited.
Exactly. Well, okay. So now plural shapes like ovals, spheres, cubes. What do you think? We're last 2.
Rhombi.
Rhomboids.
It's rhombus
rhombuses.
Is the word for one, but is it rhombuses or rhombi?
Tonight it's going to be rhombuses.
Okay.
And now give me a size. Little, tiny, teeny, minuscule, big, gigantic.
Yeah, one of those.
Gargantuan.
Okay.
How about that? All right, I'm done. Are you ready for this? All right.
Oh, God. I've never been more ready for anything in my entire life.
Well, I need copyright-free love music. Here we go. No, this is only a minute and a half. I want to make sure. Copyright-free romantic music. Ah, yes. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Give it to me, baby.
Love Letter by Frank, Mike, and the audience. Dear sweetheart, I lay awake all 47 months thinking of you, your meaty smile, and our tryst in the deep gorge. Ass-slappingly, I recall our meeting, how my heart blew with industriousness when I first saw you, how moist you looked in that periwinkle Quite Frankly T-shirt, and those 2 stank socks on your nostrils. I cherished every moment we were together and was stiff as a rock when our date came to a close. I can't say how hornily I regret spilling dastardly urine on your beard. On your beard. You were rageful about it, however, for which I am grateful. You are so beautiful when you're rageful. You're fucking slippery most other times. Your eyes are like deep pools of Nancy Pelosi's bathwater, warmed in the moonlight. Your cheeks are as rosy as dick lasers. Your lips are like succulent cheese slices. Your hair is chartreuse like the white liberal lady on summer's day. Your beef curtains are 2 gargantuan rhombuses of voluptuousness. I can't wait to garble with you again. Please, my dear, write soon. Extremely gaily, your friend, Frank, Mike, and the audience at home.
Very nice. Extremely gaily. I can't even hear music through my headphones here.
Well, then you missed out on the best part.
I probably did, but the crazy lib was the best part.
Yes, the chartreuse crazy liberal lady.
The last sentence sounded like a real sentence almost. So the voluptuousness of your meat curtains and whatnot.
Oh man, see, Frank, post the link to this site, please. Oh no, you can find it. It's called Crazy Rinks. Wait, hold on. Where is it again? I had it over here. Crazy Tales. It's rinkworks.com/crazytales/crazytales.cgi. Like it's going to take you right back in time. Here, I'm going to put it right in the chat room. I'll put it into the, hold on, Rinkworks Crazy Tales. Let's go to the main site. Oh, I had so much fun with this back in the day. We did so many of these. And I think we should do it more often. I appreciate you being here, Mike. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you got coming up.
I got a bunch of stuff coming up. Go to MikeIsFunny.com to see my schedule and everything, or follow me on X at Mike Baldwin, or on Facebook or TikTok at Comedian Mike Baldwin. TikTok is where I have the most followers. Facebook is where I will respond to the things that you actually comment and message and whatever, more so than anything else. At X, nobody gives a fuck about me on there. I post the same shit I post everywhere else every single day, and it'll get like 50 views and 1 like and nothing.
Listen, we're all in the same boat. There's always one place where you're doing a little bit better than the others, and it doesn't make any sense. And listen, just whatever you do, keep working. And thank you for spending some time with me here. The first appearance of 2026. Have a great weekend, my friend.
You too, Frank. Later, everybody.
Take care. MikeIsFunny.com. There he goes with his Quite Frankly mug. Extremely gaily he leaves. Okay, that's all I have for you this evening. I hope you liked that. That was a blast from the past, and I'd like to do that a little bit more with you. It is some good juvenile fun. Now, to say thank you before we get on over to the flip side, it's Rosie. Rosie has become a member of the Nugget. She's become a Nugget member. Rosie, I thought you were already a Nugget. And then Joe Martinez, thank you so much for your tip, my friend. Warrior Biatch has gifted 5 Nugget memberships on YouTube. That means that HR Biggs, Warrior Biatch, Dragon Sage, Balls McGillicuddy, and Raw Soul 777 are now sponsors of the show because of somebody else's wonderful generosity like that. I think it's only for a month, but still, for the next month, you'll be part of the Sunday streams. You'll be able to go through all of the members only sections all over the place and see all the great stuff that I was posting for sponsors throughout the holidays. There's, jump in on the book club. Why not? Go read Ready Player One. Get yourself read up until chapter 29. You can do it. And you'll be there for all the watch parties we have coming up in February. Oh, this is going to be so cozy. Thank you. Stowstube, Evening Frank, just dropping a little something. Well, thank you for that, my friend. Over on Rumble, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did. Grandma Grateful said, the context of the word moist in a movie I watched once, that's why I have a gag-like reaction to it. The context of the word moist in a movie I watched once. Well, what movie was it? That doesn't let me know. Anyway, and thank you to a very, very healthy audience. This is the kind of audience I was always envisioning with Badlands on a Thursday night. It's wonderful to have you extra 1,000 or so people who are watching. And thanks again to John and everybody at Badlands for keeping me around on Thursdays. I love sharing my show with you guys, and I hope that I bring something a little bit different and rope you in for some good old interactive fun, and we're gonna see where this all leads us in 2026. All right. So in the meantime, I'll be live at 7:00 tomorrow on the Playhouse, but wherever you follow me, I'll be sharing the link tomorrow. Saturday night, I'll be live on pilled.net at 9:00. That will become the show that is premiered next Friday when we have the night off altogether. And a lot of work to be done. But if you are a monthly sponsor, you're going to see me on the Sunday stream, and we have so many other fun things going on, and I appreciate your time and your support. All the best to you. Next week, we're giving away the Stunads All of You shirt. That's how we're going to kick it all off on Monday. You know what I'll do? I'll get a gold back. I'll give away gold back. I will give away a Jesus shirt with some gold. Not going to pair him with silver for obvious reasons. Gold, yes. because kings deserve gold. All right, that's that, everybody. I will see you guys soon. Have a great night. Follow me over to the flip side. We're live for the next couple of minutes until all the lights go out. I'm going to be putting that link in the chat room. A più tardi.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you all, one and all. Quite frankly, it's filmed before a live studio audience. And thank you to those who have kicked in this week and have been around. And I look forward to hanging out with you every week. And another good one is coming. So get into the chat room and click that link. Come to the flip side. Take care.
Will you shut up?